Cars Channel News and Review Car.
(2018) Volvo XC60. The Volvo XC60 has been around since 2008 and was updated for the 2014 model year. 9 years after its introduction to the market, Volvo decided it was time to usher in a new generation, and usher one in they did. The new gen model comes complete with a new design inside and out, new safety systems that include stair assist and oncoming lane mitigation, and a new clean zone climate control system that is said to remove harmful pollutants from the air outside of the cabin when the ventilation system is functioning. Volvo will offer the new XC60 with its T8 hybrid powertrain, the D4 and D5 diesel powertrains, and the T5 and T6 gasoline powertrains for a power range that stretches between 190 horsepower and as much as 407 horsepower. In the right configuration, this SUV can hit 62 miles per hour in 5.3 seconds. The XC60 is an SUV not designed to look down on others but to drive. The exterior has an athletic sculpture with a subtle, timeless quality. The interior is a masterful composition of well-resolved architecture, beautiful materials, and the very latest technology, all perfectly blended together. The XC60 provides a true Scandinavian experience which will make our customers feel special, said Thomas Ingenlath, Senior Vice President, Design at Volvo Car Group. So, it all sounds pretty good, right? Well, let us take a closer look at the new XC60 to see if it really lives up to all that hype. If you were to look at a silhouette of the outgoing XC60 and the new XC60, you would see the same general shape. The roof features the same slanted grade to the rear, and there was no real size change. But, the actual design of the body, on the other hand, is as fresh as it gets and shows a clear evolution from the first-gen model. Up front, the grille is much more prominent before, positioned right at the tip of the nose like a centerpiece as opposed to being recessed a bit between the headlights. The grille also features vertical slats as opposed to the horizontal front slats in the outgoing model. The headlights are new as well, featuring a thinner design with a new LED strip layout that is shaped like a T-light on its side. Down below, the air dam has grown taller, but the styling of the lower lip gives it a slightly recessed look. The fog lights have been moved to the lower outside corners, while just above sits a recessed area with inserts, a feature that adds a bit of aggressiveness to the front profile. Finally, the hood now has a more rounded front edge while the muscular sides have been toned down a bit and accented by a second body line that runs almost the full length of the hood. The actual design of the body, on the other hand, is as fresh as it gets and shows a clear evolution from the first-gen model. Moving over to the side profile, and we see a few subtle hints of XC90 DNA, like the long but mild body line below the waist and the defining lines around the front and rear wheel arches. The side view mirrors are actually mounted somewhat low on the doors, leading to a longer arm between the door and the mirror itself, while the window trim begins to slant upward just before the rear quarter glass, both visual improvements over the outgoing model. Down below, the doors get an excessively concave cutout that looks like a larger, mirrored version of the chrome trim on the side skirts. It's an interesting look and provides a lot of character. Around back, the new XC60 is as sporty as it gets, with new LED taillights that are primarily located on the corners of the rear quarter panels but do extend onto the rear hatch at their lowest point. It's a fresh and modern taillight layout that really adds to the look of the new rear hatch. The rear fascia takes on some new body lines and thinner reflectors that are accented by chrome inserts. The same rectangular exhaust pipes are shown off on the model here, but the insert of the lower fascia now surrounds them and is finished in the same color as the body. All told, it's a beautiful design, but the one thing I am not so sure about is the bubbly panel just below the rear glass that sports the Volvo badge. It looks geometrically out of place in comparison to the main design cues. There are tons of SUVs out there that compete in this segment, But two of the more prominent and non-German models include the Lincoln MKC, above, and the Acura RDX, below. The Lincoln MKC is a baby on the market, being introduced for the 2015 model year as part of its continued effort to reinvent itself and attract a younger customer base. As such, it features a sporty and mildly aggressive look that includes a dual-wing grille, sleek body lines along the sides and on the hood, and a fairly rounded overall look. It's based on the MKC concept that Lincoln showed off in 2013 and features things like an all-glass panoramic roof, approach lighting, and glowing door handles to help welcome the driver at night. HID headlights are standard equipment, but come with LED accents. The side view mirrors have an auto-folding function and integrated turn signals for better visibility to others on the road, and you can choose between 6 different types of wheels that range between 18 and 20 inches in size. Stop by your local Acura dealer and you'll want to direct your attention to the Acura MDX. It's currently in its second generation and was updated for 2016, so it's likely to soldier on unchanged for at least a couple more years. As part of the update, Acura gave the RDX a refreshed look with updated July headlights, and a new front fascia that is significantly more aggressive and attractive than before. It does have the traditional Acura beak, but the 3D grille helps distract from such a prominent nose. The side profile is graced with an even waistline and 2 mild body lines that give it more of a refined look compared to some models in this segment. Around back, the Acura takes a more traditional approach with the taillights in comparison to the XC60, but still looks so fresh and so clean thanks to the angular and well-defined lower fascia that mimics the front in all the right ways. If it comes down to which model to choose based solely on looks, you, my friend, have a tough decision as all 3 models are attractive. The XC60 is obviously the freshest on the market, so if you're looking for the absolute newest look, then the XC60 is probably for you. But, if you prefer a more refined model, you may want to go with something like the RDX. Meanwhile, the Lincoln sits right in between the two and is just a bit more aggressive than the RDX but is due for a facelift in the next couple of years. The inside of the new XC60 is a huge departure from the outgoing model. The dash has been redesigned to have a small overhang on top and a flatter surface, while the passenger area has been recessed a bit between the 2 vents. A new infotainment display and central vent layout have been added to the center stack. The screen is still oriented vertically, but the vents on the XC60 are the same length of the screen, creating a cleaner interior look for the XC60 compared to the outgoing model and the new XC90. With the infotainment screen taking up most of the center stack, there are far fewer controls, with only a single knob and a few buttons between the center stack and the center console. But, that center console now slots up underneath the dash for a more modern look compared to the look of the outgoing model. The dash has been redesigned to have a small overhang on top and a flatter surface, while the passenger area has been recessed a bit between the 2 vents. The door trim panels on the new XC60 now feature a less boxy design that still provides ample storage space in the cubby below while providing a wider armrest on the doors. The rear console now sits higher while the seats get a new layout that makes them look like multi-piece units that are sure to be comfortable. The model shown here features perforated seats for heating and ventilation, and beefier side bolsters for extra support up front. The rear of the seat backs are composed of what looks like plastic but feature a recessed area with a net for storage of random paperwork. Moving further back, the rear, second row of seats features the same perforated materials and those beefy side bolsters for the outside seats. The center seat is recessed just a bit to allow for center passenger support but is not perforated, so make sure you stick to the outside seats if you get stuck in the rear. The seat back of the center seat features a fold-down armrest of sorts with a little hole for storage, while a second pull-down center section provides a pair of cup holders for rear seat passengers.